What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to the brother Magnetic Discovery for the donation to the channel via the PayPal. Much respect for showing love to Too Raw for TV. All right, so I'm a little bit late talking about this, but I think it was last week in Pennsylvania while campaigning. Republican presidential candidate and former president Donald John Trump pulled off an epic trolling of Democratic candidate and Vice President Kamala Harris. We all remember that earlier in the campaign, Kamala Harris claims that as a teenager back in 1983, I guess during the summer, maybe, she said she worked part-time at a McDonald's. Apparently, I guess, trying to connect to the common person in this country. One of the things about the Democrats is that they've lost much of their appeal to blue-collar workers, middle-class workers. They've become pretty much more or less the power of the elites, the party of the elites. Both of them are, in my opinion. But the Republicans have anointed people who represent the party or at the top leadership of the party. They're a lot better at connecting to the quote unquote common blue collar worker, blue collar people or personalities. They know how to talk the lingo better now. But anyway, McDonald's they haven't been able to verify that she ever worked for McDonald's. So Donald Trump basically just trolled her by working a shift at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. I don't know exactly what the location was, but I know it was in Pennsylvania. And many people consider it, a success or whatever, right? A successful stunt. Like, I'm going to say this is my opinion on it. I do think it was a stunt. I think it was probably staged. I saw the one woman who had an accent, and I guess she was from Brazil. And Donald Trump gave her a bag of, I guess, McDonald's food, and she said something about, "Mr. President, please don't let America become Brazil. I'm from Brazil. We don't need another Brazil, a second Brazil." And he said, "We're going to make this country better than ever," and all that. I also noticed the leisurely pace of the drive-through. Look, Donald Trump's a 78-year-old man. If he actually worked at a real McDonald's, I think that he would keel over somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I did see what appeared to be on social media, somebody showing a sign that said, "Look, this location will be temporarily closed due to some event with Donald Trump or whatever." Supposedly the McDonald's that he was at in Pennsylvania. So look, was this a stunt? Yeah, most likely it was a stunt. Control. You don't want to have someone come there and say something dumb, at least from their perspective, while the cameras are rolling. Obviously, it's being filmed. It's a stunt. Absolutely, it's a stunt. But both of these people, both of these candidates, both parties do this shit. You know what I mean? And, for all the people who are, I've seen all the articles and the news media outlets, whatever, telling how much this is a stunt, how much of a fail it is, and said how fake it is. But they never say anything about the fact that McDonald's cannot verify that she ever worked for them back in 1983. Now, look, you can make an argument. This is before computers kept a record of these types of things. But still, you would think depending upon how long it was that she worked there. I don't know how long, whether it was a month, was it 3 months or 6 months or whatever. If it was 5 or more months, or really even 3 or 4 months, you would think she would have filed taxes and had to document that she worked there, right? I would think that. Or just because she's running for president. This is 1983. This was a long time ago, but you would still think there's somebody around, you know. Let me see, 1983. So she would have been 19, 18, 19. So she would have been really young back then. But you would think somebody around her age, late 50s, early 60s, even up to 70, even older. Somebody will be around and work with her. Somebody will be around to verify that, right? I'm just saying. I can't say she's a liar on this one, but she's been a liar about a lot of stuff. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. It was a good troll. Yeah, it was fake. But she's fake too. Let me say this too before I end this video. It's really difficult talking politics on here because people want you to say what they want you to say. And if they don't like what you're saying, they're going to regurgitate it the way that they want it to be. They want it to be interpreted to others. So they're going to filter what you say to make it look better or worse than what you actually said. Now, look, I said I try to be fair, but it doesn't mean I don't have my opinions. Now, whether you think sometimes I might sound left of center or right of center, then you just got to accept that. I got my own personal views, but I try to be fair, meaning that I don't try to fanboy to death. Okay? Some people said, well, you seem like you're a little bit harder on Kamala than you're on Trump. Some of that got to do with the fact that I believe in that expression, I'd rather deal with the devil I know than the devil I don't know. We've already had a Trump presidency. The world didn't come to an end. We didn't have World War III. We still got some of the same bullshit going on now than we did then. Matter of fact, we have more hate crimes under the Biden administration than we did on Trump. But, you know, magically the left-leaning media doesn't report it when there's a Democrat. But when there's a Republican in office, that's when they report it for the most part. Except for during election years when they're trying to weaponize it against the candidate. They're trying to slander as being a bigot or racist. And Trump is that, in my opinion. He's a bigot and a racist. But Kamala is what I would call an opportunist and a fucking liar. And I think she's probably, if she gets elected, she's the biggest puppet. She would be the biggest puppet ever in that office. Completely vulnerable to the prison industrial complex barons, the military industrial complex barons. When I say barons, I mean those who are at the very top pulling the strings. I think she'll be a willing puppet. I don't think she cares about his power. Just as long as she has the power. She don't care, you know, that she's not going to have a spine as far as trying to stand to any of these entities. She just wants that power. And what she did to Joe Biden shows that she's willing to snake any and everybody. She did to Willie Brown. She did all of them. Trump is horrible, but Trump lets you know who he is. I find the Manchurian candidate or the candidates that have the sunny disposition, hope and change, they have the little nice fake smiles. Those are the more dangerous ones because they can be very deceptive. They're masters at dissembling. They'll tell this crowd one thing, they'll tell this person one thing, tell this two-faced liars, but on a whole grander scale. So that's pretty much it. Anything else I want to say? Oh yeah. I remember 15, 20 years ago. This is before I did videos. I used to tell my friends how much I hated Fox News. Because at that time, I would say CNN and MSNBC, up until about 2008, 2009, they tried to be fair. although you did see a little bit of a bias, liberal bias, they try to be fair. Remember, the late, great Phil Donahue's show was removed from MSNBC back in 2003, I believe it was, because his show was considered to be too liberal, too anti-war, too anti-establishment. Fox News was extraordinarily biased and right-wing, and I hated them because I don't like that. I like at least try to be fair and objective, at least try to be. What has happened over the last 20 years, 15, 20 years, is that CNN, and especially MSNBC, in my opinion, and other news media outlets, don't even try to hide their bias anymore. They're extremely left-wing. But what I'm even more flummoxed at, and then first flummoxed and then ultimately disappointed in, is the fact that a lot of people who didn't like Fox News, they didn't like it because of the same reasons I didn't like it, because they were just being extremely biased. They didn't like what they were saying because it wasn't fitting in with their bias. See, they don't mind watching MSNBC because it agrees with them. Not they don't have any objections with MSNBC or CNN because they essentially agree with everything they say. So it's not the bias; it's who they're biased for. So that's how I look at that. At the end of the day, as I said before, I already voted. I voted for Dr. Cornel West. It's just my opinion, my vote, my right. You have a right to vote for who you want to vote for. But I just think that the two-party system is broken, in my opinion. And I think it's a damn shame that we have to vote more on a lesser of two evils strategy. Evil is evil. But it is what it is, man. Tell me what you guys think. Yeah. Apocalypse. Apocalypse.